Welcome to the Division 1 and 2 podcast.
You're not Mo.
I am not Mo. I will be replacing Mo once again this year because he hates us.
You're not Mo.
And because I'm better than Mo.
I feel abandoned, like as if you were supposed to take me out to go play catch and then just left me in the rain and never showed up.
You know what it feels
Mo's
like?
an absent father.
But you know what? No, you know what it
I
feels
hope
like
he
to
never
not
has
have
children.
Mo here. It's like having a shitty quarterback and then he tells you he can't come this weekend. It's like, oh no,
please.
oh no.
It's like when you have Pease as quarterback.
right.
I thought he was setting it up for Mo at quarterback, and that's my coffee, not yours.
Okay, so right here we got Jim as well. Jim is obviously replacing Mo, and then we got Peace as always.
I'm also doing my table of terror challenge at the same time. I have the freshly squeezed challenge,
shit.
which
Where's
means
my
I have to
mustache?
do the.
Yeah, you're gonna get it next week.
Which means I have to squeeze this the whole time. I picked the
These
only.
are 3 punishments next week, by the way, because you got double death in the.
Who did?
He pulled out
Okay.
double
I
death
thought this was me.
and he lost the side bet. So
Perfect.
Oh wow!
Never take side bets.
So I have to consistently do this throughout the show. I'm gonna be dead by the end of it. I
Is
picked
he
the
allowed
only.
to switch hands?
No, down
Not
the hand.
allowed.
Sorry,
Oh, Lord.
Wow.
I picked
I'm
the
making
only
the rules
thing.
as we go. You know that, right?
Doesn't
At
sound
least
like
I picked the
any fun.
punishment that can possibly improve my already terrible hands. So at least this will help me secure the
At the
ball
very
better.
least, it'll improve your Friday night date night.
So speaking of punishment, Rainmakers are the first team to lose to Flagmont Stack this year. FML beats the Rainmakers 41-38. In this game, I guess Alex Nadeau-Pius found the recipe for victory. It's feed the beast. Feed the beast that is Maxime Fournier.
Oh man, I'm already getting tired.
Maxime Fournier had 8 catches for 179 yards and 5 touchdowns. Some guys never even got that in their career. The Rainmakers had Sean Haney playing this game. That's his debut in Division 1 ever. Never seen Sean Haney in the Division 1.
We've played Division A for
I've
the
seen him in Division A,
Shockers. Yeah.
Not
Mercenaries as
comparable.
well.
Shockers, how long ago was this?
Black and white
2009?
era.
2009. Would you say A back then is 1 now?
No.
No.
Perfect. So that's that's my point. How do you feel about this Rainmakers being the first team to lose to FML?
I'm curious that it took this long for FML to put a win up. I mean, they're a team that was competitive in Division 1 last year. They've had
And usually
sort of,
competitive.
Yeah, they're
not
usually
just
competitive.
last season. Like in general, they've been competitive.
They've had roster issues where it's never the same guys who show up week in, week out. I feel like this is the time where they've been the most consistent, and yet they've struggled the most. I think it's more to do with the parity in Div 1 than anything else. But Alex Nadeau-Pius is the heart and soul of this team and makes do with the players around him, so I'm surprised that it took them this long to begin with.
To be fair, they were a wrist flick away from having beaten the finest as well.
They were a wrist flick
wrist
away,
flick.
and you should have seen that flick. With this game, would you lock up Maxime Fournier for receiver of the year?
Without a doubt.
Given that Theo gets two-way.
Yeah, given obviously Theo's going to win two-way player of the year. We're going to touch on that a little bit more. But the fact that he's leading these statistics with one less game played than everyone else is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Or as you would say, he's a freak.
He is a freak. Moving on, DK 21, Got Skills 32. For a brand new team in Division 1 in Got Skills, they are doing a lot of damage. They've beaten Finest, now they're beating DK. I'm never that impressed about their offense, but their defense holds it down.
You mentioned that, and you have that in the prep as well, that you're not really impressed with either team's offense, but the defense is keeping both these teams in games.
Yeah.
I think that of the two, if you put on paper Got Skills compared to DK, there's no reason we should be even having this discussion.
I know. That's
so
crazy.
I think that's testament to how good the Got Skills defense is, that if we can look at them and gloss over it, and they're still winning games, and they beat
I
the
don't know though. I
finest.
think a lot of the God skills is just they're not the FBF brand names. In a sense, like the same way, like DK, we know these guys. They're all amazing. They're all awesome.
Yep.
But with God skills, the guys were still up and coming and emerging.
They're up and coming, but at the same time, you look at this roster, like even compared to their outdoor tournament team, like it's not all of the same guys. Like you're seeing right now, like Eric Deschambault is making a big name for himself, whereas he's not even that big on their outdoor.
Samuel Laguerre O'Connell, their
Yeah.
rush, had 3 or 4 sacks in his game. He's one of the best rushers I've seen in Division A.
Yeah, he's got
and Pilon
great
had
speed.
4
Good
sacks. Pilon also had 4 sacks in his game, and they're just going at it.
Alex Pilon, right?
Alex Pilon, that is, yeah.
I confused the two because they look a lot alike.
Don't. Alex Pilon is the better of the two brothers.
Depending on what you're talking about.
I know. I'm talking defensively.
But you put Serge Pilon in coverage compared to Alex Pilon. Serge is the far better DB.
And who would you say has got better hands between the two?
I think that Alex is faster and can really be the game breaker of the two, but Serge is definitely the more consistent one, and I would take that in a second.
To me, it's still an Mary Kate, Ashley Olsen thing. Like, just like get a face tattoo or something.
Okay.
I just assume one day one catches well, and then The
Are
same
you-
guys dropping balls.
Are you amazed by God Skills scored 4 times, 3 offensive touchdowns and 1 pick six, and they got 8 points, 8 extra points. Therefore, they went for 4 times and got it all 4 times. That's 8 points. That's a score and a 2-point after, more than what they should have had. Are you amazed by something like this?
Especially considering it's Division 1 where it's so tight and so difficult to get that separation, and you're already starting back an extra 5 yards. I think it's absolutely great. It's strange because we sort of touch upon this discussion every season and then leave it because there's always one team that excels at going for 2, and no one else follows that formula of thinking, hey, even if we go for 2 and get it 1 out of every 2 times, it's the same as getting a
Same thing.
perfect convert every time. You know, we should go for 2 every time on Top Sauce. Let's do that.
We do like 1, 2, 1, 2, but we only convert to 2, so it's almost the same. Might as well go for it all the time because with Fun Boys, all we do is go for 2, and we get a lot of them. And at the end of the night, it's almost like getting it's an extra touchdown. It's that score differential at the end of the day, where it's like it's no longer a possession. It's that we scored too many 2-point converts, and now we're up another score. Anyways, moving on. Is this a back-breaking loss for DK?
Considering how tight Division 1 is, it's going to be very difficult to bounce back for this. They've dropped in the standings as well.
What's on deck for DK, Pease?
DK? They are going to face, in the next couple of weeks, Rainmakers and CBL. I actually did a whole breakdown of this in the newsreel this week.
Right.
Where DK is largely in control of their own fortunes, but it's also a really weird situation because these are all the 3 teams remaining in
So
contention.
it's raining, but it's not raining. It's not coming down.
it's
straight?
coming in
It's
sideways.
raining sideways.
Your umbrella's dry, but your face is wet. It's rough.
That's nice. Moving on to Division 2. Serve with Ice loses to the Glads 47-39. You never get the same thing out of Serve with Ice. One week they're dominant, the next week they're not. Jordan Panetta's had 2 interceptions, which were the difference maker in this game. What are your feelings here?
Were his eyes red and glossy when he showed up to
I
the
didn't see this
field?
game. I've seen like probably 75% of Serve with Ice's games this year, and I did not see this one.
I think it all comes down to how comfortable or uncomfortable Jordan is behind center, if he's medically enhanced or not.
Onyx, right?
Yes,
Bionics.
definitely. Yeah.
Nice.
And this was a huge game. Like this allowed the Glads to leap over them in the standings. Like this was not one that you wanted to drop.
I don't think that any game right now is one that you want to drop. In Division 2, we talked about how half the teams were 4-1 5 weeks ago, and now we're all 4-5.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's crazy. Do you feel like either one of these teams are a true contender, or are they both pretenders?
Glads are definitely a contender. They're always a contender. We've seen them win finals. We've seen them lose finals. They definitely know what the secret to success is in this league, and especially in Division 2, where it's their bread and butter right now.
Yeah.
They're always going to be a contender.
They are.
And
I
the
feel
thing
like
is,
It's like they're one of those teams who are very, very strong for Div 2, but have a lot of trouble competing in Div 1.
And having Francois Lebeau as quarterback, like you see it here, where if you force a mistake or 2 on the other side of the ball, Lebeau won't make a lot of
yeah.
mistakes.
and
So therefore,
you got so much experience in Lever and Chartrand, and like it's a good team. I feel like we're almost just sick and tired of talking about them in this division. It's always been the same old. Glads in Division 2, Glads in Division 2. Nothing changes. Always the same. Da-da-da-da. It's like Finest. I'm okay with the fact they're losing because that's also a same
it makes
old
it
at this
more
point.
interesting a show. That's for
Exactly. Moving on.
Sure. Plus, I love how mad Kevin Wyeth gets at Mokan. Deservedly so. So it's awesome. It's fun.
Clockwork 39, Monstars 21. Basically, Clockwork bringing Monsters back down to earth, who had been on a crazy high lately with Mashtub tearing up the league at quarterback. Did you see this game?
I did not.
You did not?
This on paper has all the recipe, especially in Conference B, for a semifinal game. These two teams are
Yep.
very strong. I don't know how many others are really going to step up to the plate other than Glads, who we mentioned as well.
So Dexter Linton played his first game with Clockwork. It's a guy who also subbed for D-Boys for Marco. In this game, he had 4 tackles, 2 picks, 3 pass deflection. He had 2 receptions for 59 yards and a touchdown. He led all their receivers with 59 yards because Marco spread the ball. I think there's like 4 or 5 guys with more than 50 yards.
3 players have 5 catches, and 3 receivers have 50 yards. Matt Kerouac is a player. He had 39 yards on 5 catches. So definitely, being a snapper, he didn't put up the same amount of yards. But just to say, the ball was spread in terms of yardage and catches.
So would you say that Matt Kerouac has transformed himself into like a quality snapper at this point?
he's definitely, especially with the absence of Anthony Como, where he had to kind of step in and be that player for that team.
Well, Anthony Como, did he snap for Clockwork?
No,
or
but I
only
mean,
D-Boys?
even on D-Boys, that like in seasons past where
So it's
Como
just
went down,
more
and Roosters and
experience, more
Donkeys,
experience.
Yeah,
He's
he's
getting
getting more of
comfortable.
those reps, and yeah, there's that comfort. Obviously, Marco trusts him and always will, so you know that you're that bailout for your quarterback, and he's getting better and better.
I just feel like he's one of those guys. He's one of those receivers that you trust. You want to get the ball to, and he's also not in your ear about getting him the ball. So like he never gets on. As a quarterback, sometimes you'll be like that guy will always. Like, he's gonna come see like I was open. I give you the ball,
He
give you the
won't
ball.
go rogue on you if you call too many hooks.
That too. Like he won't. Not about going rogue, because sometimes receivers will go rogue, but like they understand that rogueness still fits in the play or fits in what the team
Not
is
all
trying
the
to do.
time.
Not all the time, but a smart receiver will go
Yes,
rogue
but there's-
appropriately.
But you definitely see more often the rogue where a guy just does what he
GM's
wants.
rogueness is according to, because I call a lot of all hooks, and then I'll give one guy like a post or a fade or a hook and go or the option to do whatever he wishes, and then hopefully we make the same read. And GM's usually the guy that'll come back and be like, I'm going to do a post. And I think about what I just said in my huddle, like, yeah, that's fine. All right, you can do that. Do the post.
It's not going to you anyways.
You can do a somersault, GM. It's fine.
You can light yourself on fire and run around. That'd be cool to see, though. But anyways. CLR Damps. CLR and Damps. Yeah, CLR beats the Damps 21-6. So Damps 25-8. Lost 21.
A lot of numbers in that sentence.
Holy shit, that got confusing. This is unfortunate, honestly. I've been following, and I'm a fan of Damps. I'm a big fan of them. I gave him like that tough love at the beginning of the season, like a father, like an older brother. I gave him that tough love because I really wanted them to have success. Because as we all know, they kind of got forced to play in this division. Although they do belong here, we know that now, having won and beaten good teams. Unfortunate. This was another one of those Andrew Trefezan. I don't know how to spell out.
Trefason?
Andrew
Trefason.
Trefason.
I feel like it's
I like
French.
Trefason.
Trefezan.
If you listen to the
Trefason?
podcast, tweet us in and tell us.
Yeah, that'd be
Otherwise, if you don't listen to the podcast, it doesn't matter anyways.
Also,
and
you
we
tweet
can
it and
keep
just
doing it
write your
wrong.
name. That won't help us.
Tweet
Because
his
we're still
name.
reading your name.
Phonetically, please.
Yeah, just Snapchat it to us, actually.
In this game, he threw for 74 yards, 1 touchdown, and he had 2 INTs. He threw 2 picks. I mean, maybe it's because Gradisson hasn't been there lately.
Jalen Grandison?
Grandison, another one of those names. I feel like these are all French names.
Like Vincent Nardone.
Trefezan. Anyways,
Wait, Nardone's not Italian?
I'm sure he is.
moving on. Because the opposing quarterback threw for 111 yards. I mean, that's not that much
Frederick
better.
Dupree, yeah.
Fred Dupree threw for
I
111
find that
yards.
I find that more surprising.
I
than
don't.
anything.
This is how I thought the game would go, just because Damps 25-8's defense is good.
They
That
have
was
a good
never the
defense, yeah.
question. And so,
And
Fred
Andrew
Dupree's
was
not
also
a-
rushing. Andrew was rushing. He was playing quarterback and rushing, and I saw him rush last week. And he's one of those smart rushers that you just won't beat him. So every time you try to beat him to a side or the other, he gets that free sack. If you stay in your pocket and you step back and make the throws, you're fine. As soon as you try to beat him, it's like he's got that true tackle breakdown, like thinking. Like so, he's always trying to stay inside the gate.
cutting off the angles.
Exactly, he's cutting you off. So he's beating you to the point where he thinks you're going all the time. So he gets these sacks. Yeah, I think he had 3 sacks in his game. I think. Which
He
is-
had 3. Sorry, my mistake. He had 3 sacks in this game. Absolutely.
So I mean, he's doing everything he can to help the team. But some weeks he'll throw for 300 yards and 6 touchdowns, and other weeks he'll throw for 74 yards and 2 picks. Did you see Dams play this year?
Yes.
Are you a fan of them?
I'm a fan of them because it's new blood into the sort of boys club of Division 1 and Division 2.
True.
They are the sort of future, the up and coming. Oh, we have a tweet in.
He basically did what you said.
Nice. He just wrote his
It's
name.
pronounced-
It's pronounced Trefason. Thanks, dude.
Thanks, Ryan. That was Ryan.
I knew that was going to happen, too.
Our beloved photo taker. I don't know what his
Okay.
title
So
is.
to answer, as I was
Photo
saying,
taker guy.
they
Foley
are.
is a word for a guy who takes photographs professionally.
Photographer.
You know that they're the up and comers. They're CIS athletes. They're all. They just need to sort of. As long as they take these losses and learn from it, they saw what worked for them in the last. Thank you for encouraging me to continue with this. As long as they take these losses in stride and learn from them, I think that they can come back a lot stronger. But
As for CLR, an up and down season all year long. Do you have any advice for these guys?
not really. I mean,
it's a team that got hot at the beginning of the season based on Fred Dupuis' abilities to throw the ball to Guillaume Ward. on a freak show at the beginning of the season. He was just catching everything, 40 bomb, 40 bomb, 40 bomb, dirty catch, dirty catch, dirty catch.
That stops you when you go to the well so many times. It eventually stops working. It goes
Yeah,
dry.
So when the water runs dry, what do?
He's got to start making plays with people who are not Guillaume Ward and start to get everyone's focus to shift away from Guillaume and then go back to that well because the water will probably have replenished at that point.
I think you're 100% right. Moving on to what is now Division 1 Inception. Like the movie, if you've seen it, you never really know what's happening.
It's like a math test you didn't study for.
Right. You never really know what's happening. Am I in a dream? Am I in real life? Is this true? Is this not true? That's basically how I feel about Division 1 with what's happening, who's winning, who's losing. In your words, GM, try to explain Division 1 this year.
In my own words, I think that we all sort of fell into the habit of seeing Montreal's finest dominate and then everyone else playing second fiddle. That as new contenders started to step up with the emergence of Got Skills, as D-Boys really started to, instead of being their first season Division 1, where now that they're starting to get more reps and see these teams more than once a season, they're starting to learn from it, it's becoming more, I wouldn't say fair, because fair is not a word, because the finest
is a word.
haven't done
That is a
anything
word.
that's unfair.
Pretty
It's
good.
not the
skins,
it's
for
not the word I
example?
want.
All right.
And it has nothing to do with I think we've put too much focus on the finest. The finest are always going to be great.
I took the focus away from them in my preseason rankings.
I think that's,
So
that's
you had them.
exactly
You had
that-
them at third, I believe.
I had at third at 7-3.
I think the best way to explain Division 1 this season is that we finally became aware that there are more than just one or two teams in the division.
I was banking on, when I did my preseason and I had them at 7-3, I was just banking on them getting older. I was banking on them slowing down. I didn't know for a fact that was going to happen, but I figured eventually it's going to happen. It's going to happen.
Can it be regular season lethargy where they know they're going to get into the playoffs?
Maybe,
They
but these
know-
guys are such contenders. I'm not contenders, but they're such like competitors. They don't want to lose ever. Whether it's
Agreed.
a game of cards, me and you talking about something, I want to beat you at it. Like it's always they can come here and play basketball, and it's gonna be the roughest basketball game you'll
say
ever
this
see.
too. Also, I think a lot of this has to do with the fact that there is a cap in Division 1. And everyone, if you look at the Division 1 rosters, everyone in Division 1, every team has added a player except for the finest. And the finest were looking to add Pat Jerome.
Yeah.
And the loss of him
Hashtag Jerome
really
Gate.
hurt that.
Hashtag Jerome Gate.
Whereas, like, you look, D-Boys have made acquisitions, Rainmakers have had acquisitions, Flagmont Sac have
Well, this is the intent of the caps, all right, is to make the league more competitive. So the finest can't just continuously add a piece every couple of years to keep themselves younger in a sense, or give themselves an edge where they might have had in the
But
past.
what happens is you can't just add. You have to replace at this
Yes.
point. Obviously, they don't want to break up their team.
Which is totally fair, and I respect that more than anything. But that's what this season is all about. Is that now because they've limited their ability to add?
So do
Everyone
you feel
else is
like
starting to catch up.
Do you feel like in the future, maybe 4 or 5 years down the road, when one guy moves to Toronto or one other guy goes missing, they're gonna step down into like a Division 2?
Absolutely not.
No, they're always gonna stay at the top.
What's
Contenders.
that competitiveness that you were saying? Like-
So long as that core is there, if they lose one or two guys, they've lost one or two guys before. You mentioned people moving away. Andre Knight's moved away. Kevin Challenger's not on the team anymore.
Who's Andre
Donald
Knight?
Shepard.
Don Shepard. Pardon?
Who's Andre Knight?
Google it. YouTube it. And
I know
if there's
Andre
anyone who is listening to this right now and has not seen who is Andre Knight,
It's related
you
to a
have no
video.
excuse. You have no excuse.
It's related to a video by the same name. Who was Andre Knights? So Google that.
So rattle me off 1 through 8 for Division 1. 10 weeks. At the end of 10 weeks.
D-Boys are obviously going to be at the top. Finest 2. I think that number 3, it's going to be it's difficult because of the rankings right now. But I like how
D-Boys
Lunatics have
Finest.
made the jump. They're 4th right now. I can see Lunatics finishing 3rd.
Okay, Lunatics 3rd.
Got skills,
Got Skills 4th.
and then
You got Rainmakers, CBL, DK.
because I don't know the rankings
Current
the current standings right now. That's obviously going to affect
working
it.
Somebody
on
help
it.
this man out.
But
I'm trying to get it
Right
out
now,
there.
you have CBL in 7th place. You have who's dead last?
I see CBL staying in 7th.
Excuse me, 1 second, gentlemen.
Flagmore Sack is last.
We have D-Boys at 1.
So the
Gus
bottom
Skills-
2, 7 and 8, are going to stay that way.
CBL and
and
Flagmore.
Flagmore Sack.
And
Okay.
ahead of CBL, I see DK.
But see, again, what's interesting
DK
is
6, Rainmakers 5th. Okay, the
what's
top
interesting
four
though is
are set.
DK plays Rainmakers and CBL. So if Rainmakers beat DK, then it's essentially it become and CBL lose this week. Then we have a veritable play-in game on week 10 where DK will play CBL for that final spot. So I mean, I never hope for anyone to lose. But yes, I'm absolutely hoping for that to play up because that's going to just be more fun for us. You know what I mean?
I'm always down for these games where they actually have meaning at the end of the week. At the end of the season, that Week 10 game, when it holds so much meaning,
That's so intense.
I
That's
love
the
watching
best-
these games.
best
It's like
football to
watching the
watch.
finals. Moving on to Division 2, what I call the headache. Wild Boys and Damps are officially out as of now. My article is not out. It's going to be out probably tomorrow afternoon or Saturday morning. So you guys can see that everybody in Conference B other than Damps and Wild Boys have clinched. And then when you flip to the other side, it's just a shit show. So Legends, who sits right now, I think
Which
is third
sitting
place.
at the bottom of Conference A
So
right now,
is
I'm
this shit
really
show.
okay with.
So
by
in
the way.
Conference A, we have Terror Squad leading the way with 11 points, and
Yeah.
Untouchables at 8, followed by those are the only two teams that have clinched.
So show.
Then we have Legends at 3rd, Wolverines at 4th,
Put it up.
hashtag NR at 5th, Chernobyl Circus, then followed by Raiders and Solid, who, due to a Chernobyl Circus tie, are only 1 point out of contention. So those teams can actually get in without having to rely on tiebreakers due to that ridiculous tie.
If the
Can we
Legends
mention-
lose, this week, they can go from 3rd to dead last.
And Wolverines as well. If there's a four-way tie,
four-way
unfortunately,
tie
Wolverines
at
at
8
the bottom
points.
of that because
Yeah.
of all their points against
Yeah.
thus far.
Yeah. Exactly.
Also, Eagles wanting me to say that the graph is up on the
Yeah,
screen.
it is.
But that said, if you're watching, you already know it's on the screen. And if you're listening, you can't see it anyway. So I don't know why you want me to say that every time, Eagle.
So take it down now, Eagle. Okay, if you had a piece of advice for either Wild Boys or Damps, let's go with Wild Boys first because I feel like they had a really strong roster and they did nothing with it. What would you say to them next year coming in?
Hopefully, you get put in Conference A instead of Conference B. I think it was just
Where do you think they went wrong though? Like,
just just closing out those close games. I mean, I'd see them on the sidelines, like prepping for my games, and they'd be playing, and there's no sort of goal in mind aside from let's just put up touchdowns. There's never a sort of game plan. It's just Matt Rene sort of figuring out in the huddle on the fly what's going to happen. I think that each game needs to be approached differently from the last one, and what makes you win one game will not necessarily make you
Yeah.
win the next one.
Well, and Wild
There's
Boys
no sort of
recently-
deviation.
Wild Boys recently played in a much lower division, so I think there's also this experience will help them get better. And now they know the level of planning and whenever they need to go into games.
how are we doing on timepiece?
We're doing okay-ish, but we got to pick it up.
I wonder why. Why would that be?
Eagles late.
Okay.
So who would you say
We
would
didn't have
be-
the board set up when I got here, so.
who would you say the two teams are going to be that are not going to make the playoffs in Conference A?
I think it's going to be Chernobyl Circus
Yeah.
and
Legends if you want to make
Legends. Yeah.
it. Okay.
Unfortunately,
Perfect.
just because I want to be right, I think Solid will not make it.
Ew.
Because I said at the beginning of the season,
Gun
and I
shot.
want
that
to be
Solid
right.
will be the best team left out.
Yeah, I said that great pieces.
Well,
I didn't see it as a team coming together.
Salid shot themselves in the foot when they had an illegal roster
My
halfway through the
fault.
season. His fault. They didn't want to say it. He said it. To Untouchables. That's a win they had. They should have had because.
Well, no, because they were a Division 1 team.
All right.
If you don't fit the cap for Division 2, you're a Division 1 team.
I get it. So there are a lot of teams who, because of tweakage of ratings, should have been in Division 1 or playing in Division 2 or 3 or 4 or 5. I mean, it's all the same. They were over by 0.2. 0.2.
Happens.
It does not make them a Division 1 team. It meant that.
Well, according to the cap, it makes you a Division 1 team.
Fine.
Like, I understand. Like,
I agree. I
There
know.
are times where players.
It's like getting a ticket for going 55 on the
Yeah.
service road.
It sucks.
That
It
sucks.
sucks, but that's what happens.
sucks
And you
100%.
can't, like, would you then go back to Untouchables and be like, hey guys, look, sorry.
It's the
You know,
equivalent of it's the whole ticket thing. It's like getting a ticket going 45 in the 30 zone because it's a schoolyard, but it's the
do
summer
wanna
and it's
kill
a Sunday
children?
afternoon. Like, there's no kids in school. There's no kids
Yeah.
here.
Yeah,
Leave me
that's
alone.
true.
Okay, moving on. Awards. Speaking of awards, Division 1 QB of the year will go to if you are the one guy picking awards, Jem, and you're writing the name on the trophies. Who are you giving Division 1 quarterback of the year?
It's already his name is already on it. It's the Kevin Wyeth Memorial Award for
Yeah.
quarterbacking.
Well, according to Mo Khan,
Yeah,
the
according to Mo.
defense of D-Boys has given the award to Marco Masiotra.
We had a debate last week. If you want to hear this, you should hear it. It was a good debate.
Yeah, I'm going to cut it up and post it on the page because it was too ridiculous to
Okay,
not see.
a lot of things that Mo says is pretty ridiculous. More money, more problems. Moving on. So QB of the year, you got Kevin Wyeth.
Yes.
Beauty.
All right, do you want to do
Kevin
like
Wyeth
do
Award.
you want to do Division 1 QB of the year, Division 2 QB
All
of
right,
the year?
so
Do you
let's
wanna
go
do it like
Division 2 QB of the year.
I think right now it's Rajmash Dube.
Agreed.
Like he's in close contention with Frank LeBeau, but just that the fewer interceptions, that completion percentage, the QB reading.
He's got a lot less picks. I think Frank's got 13 and he's at 6.
Yeah, and it's still not over. I like Rod Meshton for this.
All right.
Agreed.
So so we all agree on this one. I like that.
We're in agreement.
We're in agreement. If we go and if we take a look at defenders now in Division 1, who would you say is the best DB right now in Division 1?
Best DB, like if we're talking about strict DB, it's going to be Jordan McLaren. However, I think Sam Drapeau like has that variety of stats, and because he has 2 pick sixes, if he has a beast game or 2 beast games, he can supersede Jordan
He
McLaren
needs-
for that. He needs to have those
If
games.
he has one less pick than Jordan,
With the
but he has
pick
the 2 pick sixes,
yeah,
I
100%.
think he wins the award.
Yes.
100%.
Right now, being 2 picks less, it's tough because
I
there aren't
know.
that many interceptions.
That's
in
what I
Division
was trying to
with.
say. If he gets me like one more pick, and if he ends up getting 2
He
picks,
gets it for you, so he's
it's
he's
done.
doing this for you. He's not doing it for the trophy.
no,
right?
he's doing it for me.
Okay.
If he's doing it for me, then he's getting the trophy. That's how it works.
Do it for Vince.
Division 2 Defender of the Year.
JD Chevalier. He's got such a
JD?
variety of stats. He's got
Yeah?
the tackles. He's got the interception. He has sacks too.
He's also got like 6 games played. How many games played does JD have?
8 games.
Oh, he's got 8.
He's got 15 tackles, 5 interceptions, 4 sacks, 5 PDs, and a pick 6 as well.
Yeah, I don't think that because of the fact that he has
Those
those
are good
sacks
stats.
as well as the interceptions. I think there's only
Yeah.
one person who has like 1 interception more than him. I think
Yeah, and
that
it's Marco. Marco Mazzio.
Oh, there you go. So
Not,
yeah, it's
not
JD
even
Chevalier.
legible. There's nobody else in Division 2 with picks?
Not really. Next on the list was Antonio Lani.
Jad?
Again, doesn't. Jad Aridi has 5 picks,
Which is
which is impressive. But he
A
doesn't have
good
the 4
chunk.
sacks that Jean-Daniel Chevalier
Right.
yes,
has.
exactly. And Jad Aridi, someone who we've discussed and will touch upon for
All right,
two-way player
so
of the year.
then receiver in Division 1.
Maxime Fournier.
Yeah.
Sorry, I forgot. I forgot that I don't actually have to think about this one.
Right. I mean, if Theo wasn't up for division for two-way, would it be a debate between the two? Like, let's say Theo doesn't play defense in Division 1 and he has the stats that he has now.
Yes,
And they're
it's
up against
Theo's.
each other. It's Theo's? With
Because-
one more game played, he's got what? One more touchdown?
I don't think that matters because with this remaining game or the remaining 2 games,
Yeah.
Marco
games.
would just feed the ball to him.
He would just feed him the award?
Yeah.
And you think Nato wouldn't, since they doesn't matter what the hell they do?
Yeah, I honestly think that.
As per their team name, I don't think they care. But so, what was your question, Vince? Because I wasn't listening.
Yeah,
to
the
you.
stats difference between Fournier and Theo.
yeah.
Okay, so Theo has 47 catches to Fournier's 44.
Yeah.
The yardage is virtually identical as Theo has 1 extra yard, and yards are
Okay.
randomly assigned anyway.
Right.
You're a scorekeeper, you know.
My shit's very accurate.
Yeah, I'm sure because you count them yourself.
I do.
we
I
go-
just know what 7 yards is.
Yet, if you march the field, it's like 33 yards, and if
I
you
get
throw
40.
but there we go. I mean, not every scorekeeper does that. Theo has 17 touchdowns, and Maxim has 15 touchdowns. So it's
It's very tight. And
close.
but he has 1 game less played.
Yeah, to me, 1 game isn't like if it was like 8 games
Well,
or 6 games.
So
it's a
then what
huge
you have to
difference.
do in terms of you just so then
Yeah, you divide 1 by
Averages-
7 and 1 by 8.
averages
Yes.
numbers, and then you can see two-way.
Div 1 or Div 2?
Actually, we didn't do receiver in
We
Division
didn't do
2.
receiver in Div 2.
Yeah.
Division 2 receiver of the year.
It's funny because I mentioned that Marco would kind of feed that award to Theo if he was in contention, like
Yeah.
if he wasn't in contention
Yeah.
for two-way. And I think that for these 2 players, Eric Valjean for Wolverines
Yep.
and Alex Lever for Gladiateur, they both have quarterbacks who will probably give them that helping hand. So I think it's going to be a race to this award.
So
I
you don't
think
want
it's-
to pick now. You can want to
I
wait.
no.
You wanna
I
wait it
think
out?
that of the 2, it's going to go to Alex Lever.
Oh, okay.
But that's my prediction.
I'm going Eric Kavaljan.
I'm with
Thank
you
you
on
for
this one,
disagreeing
Pease.
with me to be interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. No, honestly, Kavaljan, he just means so much that Wolverine's offense, where basically it has
Yeah,
to run through
I
him.
touched on it
So-
like 2 weeks ago. It's their offense is basically for Eric. Like, let's just get him the ball. Everybody run around to get him.
Do your own
open.
thing, and we'll get him the ball.
Yeah. Anyways, so that's it. No, two-way in Division 1.
Theo?
Theo,
we touched
okay.
on that, yeah.
Bar down.
And I think Jadaridi is a legitimate contender
In
for
Division 2?
for Division 2.
He's
for
got
player of the
he's
year.
got really good stats. And he's had some really big games that have helped him out along the way. Like he had 5 touchdowns last week, I think, receiving.
I think honestly, that's what's propelled him into this
Yeah,
conversation because it didn't
100%,
before.
100%. So that's it for the awards. All right, that's perfect. Moving on to picks of the week with Peace's Vegas line.
Gentlemen, it's time for Picks of the Week.
Yeah.
We have this week, of course, consulting with our experts in Las Vegas. They spotlighted on Rainmakers DK because, of course, all the things we talked about with DK's playoff seeding. DK coming into this game are 3.5-point favorites. Gentlemen, your thoughts?
I'm going to take DK to cover the spread.
Me too. Give me DK.
Gentlemen, in your second pick of the week, we have Got Skills going up against D-Boys. Got Skills have been impressive, but nonetheless, D-Boys being a heavy favorite in this game, 9.5 points for D-Boys. Will they cover?
I actually said, as you were unfolding that, because I don't know what the stats were, I said if if D-Boys are favored and the spread is 12 or under, take D-Boys.
All right. So. There's a lot of math in that
What
one.
he said.
What he said. You'll have what he's having?
Yeah, I'll have what he's having.
And
didn't look at the menu.
Vegas, again, just to make things interesting, spotlighting on games that have a playoff implication. We have Raiders facing Chernobyl Circus, almost a win-and-you're-in type game. They have the surging Raiders slightly favored at 1.5 over Chernobyl Circus, so basically a pick'em game.
I was asked earlier who I think is going to be on the outside looking in, and I said Chernobyl Circus, so ergo, Raiders will win.
Raiders
this.
have looked really good lately. Rick Nancherry is on point with his receivers. His defense is playing well, or well enough.
Well enough is the answer.
Yeah. I'll go Raiders on this one. You know what? Chernobyl has rattled me all year long because they shouldn't be doing what they're doing now, but they suck.
Yeah.
So give me Raiders.
All right, Raiders. And again, related to playoff seedings, and GM, I'll ask for your reasons why, not just your pick on this one, but Legends heading into this one being a 4.5-point favorite over Solid. So a lot of close games this week. GM, why do you think Solid will cover the spread?
I think because for the entirety of the season,
we'll win the game. They're the underdogs now.
for the entirety of the season, Solid have been shooting themselves in the foot, and it's basically do or die. So with a team this stacked that tends to play as individuals anyways, all these individuals will want to win, and it'll be enough to beat a Legends team that's kind of up and down to begin with.
Vince Nardone.
And it's not because Jem is here, but give me Solid.
I don't think that even if I was, I don't think you care enough about my opinion to hurt my feelings anyways. So,
Well, it's
even
not that I
if-
don't care about your opinion, but I don't care to hurt people's feelings.
yeah, there you go.
So basically what you're saying is, while Mo is the absentee father of the show, Nardone is the abusive mother of the show.
Yeah.
That's kind of how it feels. Gentlemen, that
That's it?
was Picks of the Week.
And we all know I can't close, so somebody else needs to close.
It's weird for me because I'm not on camera, so GM.
Okay, so I've essentially voted Mo off of this show. He's welcome to come back whenever he wants, but he needs to get the rest of us coffee, which he hasn't done all season.
Seriously.
So with that, this is how I end the sentence and the podcast.
Ciao.
Period. Welcome, everyone. You are listening to and perhaps watching Table of Terror. I am your host, Pease Delarice. Every week, we reach into the box of terror, and we pull out a random team ranging from Division 1 all the way down to Division 6, and including some teams from FPF Junior, which is interesting because one of the champions from FPF Junior has already been chosen, and someone last week, I think it was Mokan, Mokan actually picked a winner. Chapman actually picked a losing team. So a lot of guys in debt for Table of Terror. We're gonna get everyone coming up to choose. We have Simon Dagenet coming up. Table of Terror is the reason. Actually, we have GM up first. Just give me 1 second, GM. This is the reason I'm dressed as a Miami Dolphins super fan. For those of you who know me, know I am a Dolphins fan, but I hate wearing jerseys in public. I find people who wear jerseys in public are largely douchebags. Please sit down, GM. No one feels like staring at your crotch for the entire segment. So basically, for having lost, I have to be one of those douchebags this week. So stay tuned in for more punishments. We have GM who's going to sit down and make his pick. GM, please pull from the box of terror. Division 2? Dams 25-8. Hey, look, they've impressed. They've been impressive in recent weeks. Andrew Treviason, we still don't know how to pronounce your name because you just tweeted us how to write your name. Vince Nardone, please have a seat. Yeah.
Division 6, whatever this is.
Sabre FC, or as we like to call them on our show, the Buffalo Sabres. Up next is Simon Dagne. Simon, you're also going to be pulling 4 Ds and 4 Chapman.
I'll start off with Chapman.
Chapman? Okay, this is Chapman first.
Predators in Div 3.
Predators. Hopefully Chapman will be catching a Predator in Division 3.
Your brother?
For Ds. So you're trying every format of pulling for other people.
FPF Junior Crimson Tide.
FPF Junior Crimson Tide did not win, so Duke has 4 punishments he needs to undergo
Suck
next
it,
week. He pulled double death last week.
That's for eating my Timbits. And for myself, St. Leonard Bros.
That is Eagles' fantasy hockey team. He assures me he has not touched the lineup since September.
It's like the worst team name ever.
Pretty
St.
much.
Leonard Bros.
Absolutely. It's also the worst team ever. It's basically a guaranteed loss. Eagle, make sure you post your scores. Bet Calendar's up next.
All right, boys. I'd just like to thank Legends for getting that W last week. I didn't have to do any of these challenges.
You're going to lose eventually.
Peace is really upset because I've done the least challenges here, and I know this was designed for me. Division 5B, been there, done that.
Division 5B,
They're
been
not
there,
too
done
bad. They're
that.
not too bad. Let's go, boys.
We have, who's up next? Terry Tam. Terry Tam's got a draw from the box of terror. Terry, when you get here, please have a seat. Please pull for yourself and for Mo. So, is this pull for you or for Mo?
This one is for Mahmoud.
I think you're actually in debt for.
Mohsin. Mohsin gets. Is this a real name?
This is a special tab.
Make
Mo's mom makes his pick. So Mo's mom has to make his pick for him
Mo's
this
mom
week.
has to make his pick.
She has to choose a team at random. This week's pick for Mo. Mo's mom makes your picks.
Can I pick another team?
Go for it.
Okay, so I picked Gronky Kong in Division 6. No clue, but I'm in.
Yeah, they are 0 and 8. 0 and 8. Sorry, 0 and 9 so far.
Hey, you always win one.
Or not, because there's no necessity for
Quarterback,
it.
I fit.
Right up, Eagle. We have a box malfunction.
Hello.
You go for it, Eagle.
Hello, wonderful people. This
Did you
week
win
I
last
actually
week?
won this week.
Yeah.
Jumpman's, I think.
Yeah, you did get. You got Jumpmans. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So this week I have selected from Division 5A Dope Boys.
Dope Boys. They're a 4th ranked team so far this year.
Hooray!
Go Dope Boys. And finally, with the last pick, I select myself, Peace Del Ruiz, Division 4B, All Black, who have struggled to win games all season. Why? Why do I always get... Thank you, everyone, for tuning in to Table of Terror. Please tune in next week as you see us undergo our challenges. Many of us, like these, is in debt 4 punishments. He has to choose 4 things off the Table of Terror this week. It's bound to be a blast. We're not refreshing the board from here on out, so whatever's left, someone will have to sleep. Someone will have to sleep in my garage. It'll be interesting. So have a great week. See you next week.